Hello Year 6 and welcome to Friday's maths lesson. So for today's lesson we're going to do adding again. Remember we have moved on to working out of the Year 6 maths book and we are looking at page 6, the adding on page 6. Okay, so same as yesterday, you will be using your column method for some of this. So if you need to remind yourself, you could look at yesterday's video at the beginning. But there's just different ways today of using our adding skills. Okay, so the top one then, you've got an addition square. Now the first one's been done for you. So what happens on these addition squares, that number add that number equals this bottom number here. Let me get a little bit closer. Okay, so 950 add 1140 equals 2090. Okay, and then across as well, so 950 add 1250 equals 2200. So these two add together to make that one, and these two add together to make that one, and these two for that one, these two for that one, then these two for that one, and then these two for that one. Okay, so you've got to use the numbers that you've got in this square to work out the missing numbers. So for example here, you've got these two already in here. So that number add that number will give you that number. So you might have to use a little bit of subtraction today. Okay, so to work out this one then, you would need to find out 625 plus something is 3,990. So to work that one out, you could do 3,990 take away 625 and that would give you that number there. Okay, so once you've got that number, so then you've got these ones to work out. So to work out this one, you would have to do this number, take away this number, and that would give you that one, and then you could add these two together to give you that one. Okay, so I've talked you through, you might have to go back and pause it to work out each one of those. I've talked you through that one. You've got this one as an example, and then you can have a go at that one on your own. Okay, so you might have to do a little bit of subtraction on these ones to work it out. The next ones then, you've got to work out in your head. Okay, so it's having a go in your head. So it's having a look at each of the columns. So for example, this first one here, so you've got 20,123, add 425. Now, I know that I only need to look at these last three numbers. Okay, so they're the only ones that might change, and maybe the thousands column. So I could try and work that out in my head. So I'm going to have a look. So I'm going to have a look at the ones. So I know that it's 5 add 3. I've got a 5 there and a 3 there. So that would give me 8. I've got 2 and 2 would give me 4. Then I've got 4 and 1 would give me 5. And then the 20,000 is going to stay the same. So I didn't need to write anything down for that. Okay, so it's having a go. It's some little strategies in your head to see if you can do it. The next ones are already in a column, a bit bigger than yesterday. So we've got some 5-digit numbers this time. So you can have a go at those in a column. This bit then, it says using multiples of 5 or 10, write two-digit numbers that would add up to the amounts given below. So you need the multiples in the 5 times table. So any number that's in the 5 times table and the 10 times table. So you might want to write the 5 times table and the 10 times table down. So for example, this first one here, so I've got 115. So I need two multiples. So remember, they're the numbers in the times table that would add together. So I need a multiple of the 10s and a multiple of the 5s. So I know that 100 is in the 10s. Okay, so I could do 100, and then I know that 15 is in the 5. So I could do 100, add 15. Okay, so that's 10 is in the 10. So 100 is in the 10s, and 15 is in the 5s. So they would add together. Okay. So then the next one, 145, I know that 100 is in the 10s and I know that 45 is in the 5s. So I could do 100 add 45. So have a little go at that one. That might take a little bit of thinking. It might mean that you might have to carry on the 10s or carry on the 5s. So past 5 times, so 5 times 12 is 60. So you might have to carry on a little bit and 10 times 12 is 120, but you might have to carry on because some of these numbers are a little bit bigger. Okay, so write down counting fives and go a little bit further than 5 times 12 and the tens. They're both times tables that you'll be able to do that on. And then the last bit is some problems, okay, all to do with addition. Okay, so like the first one says, add 916 and 921. So add those two together, and then 964 and 955, add those two together, and then you've got to add your two answers together. Okay, and then what amount results from adding 586, 520 and 827 and 638? So you've got to add all of those numbers together. Okay, and then combine 2087, 6059 and 1099. So add those numbers together. So they've made it a little bit trickier by putting some numbers in words and some numbers in digits. Okay, so just be really careful. And then what number is 269 more than 567 plus 598? So on this one, you need to add the two numbers here together. So 567 and 598. And then add 269 to your answer. Okay, so it's just about reading them really carefully. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing all of your work. You've worked really hard all week. I've loved looking at all of your pictures. I'm really proud of each and every one of you. So keep it up and keep the work coming. Have a lovely weekend.